don't you tell me how to talk proper. If you can't talk English, don't talk at all.
And I came here because it was more tolerant than Germany.
What did he say?
Only that he thought England was a liberal country.
Oh, too bloody liberal when it comes to foreigners.
Kennedy, we're here to do a job. Shall we just get on with it?
Does agreeing to sign your name on a piece of paper stop you being an enemy? A snake for broken back can and will bite if it gets the opportunity. Read it in the paper.
You can read. That's a surprise.
No German.
He's no need to worry about getting a bullet in his brain.
What was she saying?
I think you'll find she's Hungarian.
Again. I'm a girl.
Hungarian. It's in the name.
How long is this going to take?
As long as it takes. Name?
I have an art exhibition.
You're an artist?
We'll come to that. Name?
Sophia Wächter.
Nationality.
Austrian.
Back of the queue. Germans to register by the 17th of August. Austrians by the 24th. Name?
Blum. Charles.
Age?
40.
Occupation?
I'm a musician.
Tara Bondier, Tara
I
Bondier.
said I'm a musician, not a bandsman.
You're all the same now.
I've lived in this country 20 years.
And I was born and bred here.
There's no need to be unpleasant, officer.
I'm not unpleasant, just English.
He says I'm supposed to register as an alien. In my own country, is that true?
This is my wife.
Tell her to get in the queue.
What come to you?
We were at school together, Harry Oldfield. Are you going to let him speak to me like that?
You chose to marry outside your caste.
We're both married to good men.
I want nothing more to do with him.
What?
I've seen what it says in the papers.
I'm your husband.
Raping women. Bayoneting babies. He can lock him away and throw away the key as far as I'm concerned.
He's your husband, the father of your children. Some sort of father.
Whatever your problems are.
You marry a foreigner, you take his nationality and you queue up here.
Don't you dare write to your MP. No one knows what's going on. Everything will calm down, it'll be alright.
She's right, mein Schatz.
Don't you dare call me that, don't you dare.
I must be home for luncheon.
I have a performance at the Theatre Royal at 2 o'clock.
What's she saying?
How can I translate? I don't speak Hungarian, only French, English and German.
Name?
Elsa Zimmerman.
Charles Blum.
Frederick Stunder.
Eliza Strunder.
Matty's Hen.
Sophia Wächter. Bertie Blum, knee side bottom.
Occupation?
Governess.
Musician.
Pastry cook.
Pork butcher.
A woman of independent means.
Dancer.
Lodgings keeper.
Gertie.
You're the one who dragged me into this.
I didn't make the war.
Your precious emperor did.
When did I ever support him?
Can I go now? It's a disgrace to have a piece of paper in my own country. But don't worry, have it with me at all times. If you need to see my book, Sergeant, you know my address.
No alien to move more than 5 miles from their listed address.
And if I want to see my tired old mummy in Dublin?
They'll have to apply for a permit like the rest of them.
Gertie.
Not you.
I thought I was free to go.
Not till we've seen what you've got there.
These are only drawings.
So it's a map.
Open it.
They're drawings of the Derbyshire countryside. The one in Derbyshire reminds me of the Tyrol.
And where would that be?
Austria. I mean, I'm sure there are tourists there who, like me, have had their holidays rudely interrupted.
Seem to think England is a green and pleasant land.
I've hurt my ankle. I can't walk far.
See a doctor, did you?
No, I bandaged it myself.
Then drew the spire. And what's this?
That's Chatsworth House, sir.
Of course I know it's Chatsworth. The question is, why is it Chatsworth?
Would you not want to draw that to show your friends at home?
What friends at home?
My family.
Seems strange they allow you to run around England alone.
My father got a telegram. He had to cut short our trip.
I wonder why that was.
He has a factory. He makes clothes.
Uniforms?
Corsets.
Let's come back to Chatsworth.
I'm not happy with the perspective here.
Isn't that where Yeomanry Camp is?
Is it?
Think you and I both know the answer to that.
That's where the reservists are training.
Perhaps you have a spy in your midst, Sergeant.
We'll be keeping these.
My exhibition.
We'll have to wait.
Well, boys, what did these say?
It has been a fine summer and the tomatoes are ripe.
And what does that mean?
But there has been good weather in Saxony.
No, what does the tomatoes are ripe mean?
That Mutty,
This is an English household. We speak English here.
Mutty, it's an affectionate term.
Germans don't have affections.
I love Winifred and Vera.
How dare you speak of loving my children?
I'm sorry.
What have you been whispering in their ears when they're supposed to have been studying?
Only how to improve their knowledge.
You've been indoctrinating them. Do you know what Vera said at breakfast? That there must be some good Germans. You need not take that remark to apply to you.
My mother.
Are they all in code?
They are just family letters.
I doubt the police will say that.
I have just been to the police station. Here's my registration. For 2 years, I have kept all my mother's letters. You will not take them to the police.
I assure you they will have every scrap. And if you were not a spy, why would you tear them up?
In that case, I have no choice but to tender my resignation.
You are already dismissed.
Where am I to go?
I'm sure your spy friends will have that all worked out.
My wages?
You are owed nothing, Frau, Miss Zimmerman.
There is a quarter owing. It is due to be paid tomorrow.
Well, then you will not be here to receive it.
My notice period.
I will not have a German impostor in my house a moment longer. I will keep the books and the letters and see what my husband thinks should be done with them.
How will I get another position as a governess without my books?
A governess?
A reference, please.
A German governess. The very thing for a good family with girls to educate. Oh, how I have been duped.
None of this is true, Fräulein. Is something the matter? I'm leaving. Goodbye, Vera. You can't go.
Don't touch my child.
Where is she going? Why? It's not fair. Let go of me, Vera. However will I learn the Balkan states if you are not here to teach me geography? Oh, don't go.
Let go.
Fräulein isn't wicked.
I am your mother. Do as I say.
Mrs. Carboys, whatever I've done, it is not Vera's fault. Please leave her alone. I am leaving this minute. You can forget about my wages. Fräulein Elsa, you have not paid her.
She has infiltrated this house under false pretenses.
Where will she go? What will she eat?
That is not your concern.
You call yourself my mother. The war will make lots of opportunities for girls. I believe Violet Markham is set up a relief committee. Perhaps she will offer me work there.
I forbid you.
I think you've just lost the right to forbid me anything.
Your upbringing, your education.
They are probably the very things that are needed. You wouldn't let me kiss Fräulein. I don't see why I should kiss you.
We have not had lunch.
What do I care about lunch? Goodbye, Mother. Let us hope it'll all be over by Christmas.
Shame about not being able to use St Anne's.
It's the recruiting office.
No, not take Joe.
You have to come play with us then.
Lady Phillips is coming down to discuss the winter programme.
In August.
Isn't it good to know when I'll have to put our hats out at the street corner?
No, too cold here to put your hat out on the street.
25 years and 2 summers here and he's still complaining.
It's too soon to discuss the winter programme.
It'll all be over by Christmas. I think this year we should do bark. Not handle.
Sound isn't bad. Charles.
Gentlemen, we are sorry to interrupt.
We always have to see our patroness.
Papers.
Officer, is this really necessary? I know each one of these men personally.
In one word, Dora.
But it seems so cruel.
Do you want to spy on your bosom, my lady?
Didn't I tell you it was too early to discuss the winter subscriptions?
Yes, you did.
Papers?
I have them here somewhere.
Here are mine. You'll find them all in order. You stamped them yourself.
I trust everything's in order.
You brought me here to arrest us.
No, quite the opposite.
How do they know we're here?
There is gossip spreading like wildfire.
You brought them here.
My husband has gone to his regiment, or I'm sure he would have done something. In his place.
There are people out there who've paid our wages.
We have our papers. Everything is in order.
Everything may be in order, but they're saying in the papers.
But we are spies.
And worse, I tried to speak up for you, but I just couldn't. They won't listen to me.
Then talk to them.
I tried. I told you. They just won't listen to me. I thought I held a position in this town.
I am beyond military age. England is my home.
My children and my grandchildren were born here.
And I offered to speak up for you.
Against my advice.
Your advice is of no consequence. You are going to be interned. I offered to house you in my stables.
With the horses?
As a temporary measure until something more permanent could be arranged. But both of my grooms threatened to give notice.
Thank you.
That is of no matter now. I just don't want to see you spat at and abused.
Get rid of me!
So what I've arranged is this. Sergeant Oldfield is going to arrest you.
No, with the same band who played in the park on Monday afternoon.
You are going to be arrested.
For what?
For your own safety. If you go out the way you came in, they will spit and throw things at you.
Not to mention bad language.
You're going to be taken into protective custody.
Can we bring our instruments?
Be quick, understand it's for your own safety.
Then what?
I will do what I can. Please, it's something I can do to help. I will tell the crowds out there that it's to appease their anger against the German atrocities in Belgium.
But we have families. What will they do to them?
I will do what I can, but go before they start baying for your blood.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that at this moment, the Buxton subscription band are on their way to police cells. It was thought wisest to arrest them in the interest of national security.
Mr. Stunder,
Joe, any news?
they've taken the Marvin to York.
We had our honeymoon in York. You should see the Minster. Make St Mary's.
I'm hungry, Mr. Stunder.
Come into the back. I'll see if you've got a bit of bread and dripping.
I'm a lot more hungry than that.
There's some sausage roll. They need to go in the oven first.
A sausage roll for a grown man.
You're obviously hinting at something, Joe. What is it?
We've nothing coming through now.
If you want something, just ask. A pork pie.
That'll do, to begin with. And Mother wouldn't say no to a string of sausages.
She mightn't, but I do. I've got children to feed, you know, too, Joe.
Funny how your old man's not been locked up.
What have you got?
It's pork pie he's always getting.
You'd think you of all people would have some sympathy. What would have happened to you if your husband had been interred?
And still might be.
Might he? For what?
Well,
There's nothing still coming through today. We've got no more sausages until tomorrow, and I think you'll find they're all ordered.
And what am I supposed to do?
Go to Miss Markham and her relief committee.
take charity.
What's that if it's not charity?
Mom! Hello, Joe. Mrs. Blum.
Mrs. Baines.
I never liked Blum.
You're changing your name.
But you're not allowed to.
Who's to know?
Everyone round here knows you.
He speaks highly of us, I'm sure.
Not that highly.
Really, will you go upstairs and help out with the babies? Go on, Jacob, go to sleep.
We'll have us up all night.
You can tell she's her father's daughter, can't you?
What's that supposed to mean? Mrs. Baines?
Mrs. Baines, that's you, Mum.
We thank you for the pie. I presume we'll call again.
You know I help where I can. But it's not right changing your name when your husband's locked up behind barbed wire in York.
I'd ask you to mind your own business, Mrs. Stunder. Come on, Joe.
May I help you? Would you like to sit down? A cup of tea or a glass of water? I'm trying to sort out some of the clothes I've had donated. Really, why would anybody want something in this state?
Please will you buy these?
We don't buy things.
You can have them for a penny each.
We can offer you assistance.
No, please buy them.
Please, put them away.
2 for a penny.
That wouldn't cover the cost of the paper or the paint.
Please, there must be something I can do here. I can sort.
How can I help?
I know it's very difficult to ask for help, but just tell me what I can do.
My father got a telegram and he had to cut short our trip. And now I can't get any money from the bank. And all of the people that I thought
You
were
want to get back
friends-
to Germany?
I want to go home.
Of course you want to go home. If I was stuck in Germany, I'd be trying to get back home to England.
I will do anything. I'll pay you back.
Mrs. Pritchard, may I have a word with you? How many children are going in the next batch?
11.
Could you do with a hand?
Mrs. Sutherland will come as far as Dover. I don't know your name.
Sophie Wächter.
Mrs. Pritchard is a member of the Society of Friends. Sometimes they are known as the Quakers.
We don't believe in war. We're pacifists. We believe in the good in everyone.
The good in everyone?
Mrs. Pritchard has taken it on herself to escort German orphan children back to the German border.
There they are met by someone from a similar German organisation, or perhaps the Red Cross, and taken to those that have promised to care for them.
Would you be prepared to go with them?
Yes, of course.
They may be very sick on the boat.
That doesn't matter.
Mrs. Pritchard, I think we have a volunteer for you.
But how will you get back?
I will get back. God will see that I get back.
You must be very brave.
I have faith, that's all. God has called me to do this, and I must put my trust in him. I'll go to the station at once and get you a ticket.
Can it be that easy?
Mrs. Pritchard and God are on very comfortable terms. Now, it's a warm cloak. It can be very cold on the boat at night, and you could wrap at least 4 children in it.
I'd say half a dozen children.
Then it's yours. Now, I'll write you out a docket to take to the police station, stating that you're travelling back to Germany by the most direct route possible. There they will give you a movement order. Do you understand?
Yes. Thank you. You've been so very kind. Please retake, please.
Thank you. If you go now, there might be time for a bowl of soup before you leave.
Thank you.
May I help you, Mother?
Yes, you can certainly help me by coming home at once.
I'm working.
Well, I need you to work at home.
Why?
Janet and Cook have up to left. There was no one to light fires this morning.
I never have a fire in the morning.
Well, then now's your chance.
Mother, I'm not coming home.
Why is everybody running about?
We're doing our bit.
That's exactly what Janet and Cook said. And a lot of unpleasantness about how much more they would be paid making shells.
They're desperate for shell in the trenches.
Well, your father can't concentrate on his business without a proper hot meal.
Well, if you can't cook one, then you'll have to go to one of the canteens.
Your father and I are not going to a canteen.
Then you'll have to learn to cook.
Put on an apron.
Why not? They're very practical garments.
These are pretty. I'm glad you still have some female sensibilities.
Do you like them?
They'd be very suitable for thank you notes and the like.
They're 2p each.
I'll take them all.
That'll be 2 shillings.
I suppose that'll help one of your down and outs.
Yes, it will help a widowed mother buy milk, or a blind soldier buy a tray of matches to sell.
You see, I am doing my bit.
Mother, you can see I'm very busy.
Am I being dismissed?
Unless you want to help.
You must have somebody who'd be grateful for a roof over her head.
There's a woman whose husband has been interned, but she has 2 children.
Oh, that wouldn't be suitable at all. The children will have vermin and runny noses.
Then you'll have to learn to cook.
When did daughters start telling their mothers what to do?
There's a war on.
And that's supposed to excuse everything, is it?
No, but it certainly changes things.
When your father hears...
Mother, I simply don't have time for this. Goodbye.
Again. Something to keep our spirits up.
I've had enough. I'm going to have to be repatriated. What? We're both too old to fight.
But you've no friends left in Germany.
And what friends have I got here?
But we're your friends.
I came to England for freedom, and look at us now, fenced in and hated. I'd be better off in my own country amongst strangers. Think about it. We've lost our jobs. We've no idea how long we're going to be in here for. We wake up, if we've slept, and not scratched ourselves to death. And then we spend the day getting through minute by minute until we go to bed again.
There's always music.
No, I've had enough. I've made up my mind. I can't see any way out but to go back to Germany. Can you understand?
What do you do?
I don't know. But I'll be free.
Well, we don't know what Germany's like with the war there.
I don't care. I don't care about anything anymore.
You could talk to the doctor.
You know, the pastor.
All we've done for 2 months is talk. There'll be somebody who can mend it. That will kill the boredom for a couple of hours. None of you will come with me? Charles?
I've a wife and children.
Some wife.
How dare you!
No fighting. That only gives them an excuse to say that's the way all Germans behave.
Not you then. Hans?
I'm too old.
Then die here. Die in a prison. Die as an alien. Wait.
Well, it'll have to be duets.
Matthew's going back to Germany. What's happening to us?
There's always music.
Charles Blum, Fritz Schwartz.
Have we done something wrong?
You've been released.
We're free to go.
Can't keep locking you all up, there's too many of you.
We can go back to our homes.
Alien Restriction Act still applies. Other than that, you're free to go.
We're free to go.
Which direction is Chesterfield?
You do it. No, you first.
This is Pankhurst can do it, so can we. You should be serving your country.
Idling around while others fight.
A big chap like you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I presume you want to give me a white feather?
Aren't you ashamed?
Half of Chesterfield's joined up and you're sitting here.
You've got a job to do, do it. I'll soon have enough to stuff a pillow.
Bold as brass.
What is it? Flat feet? Poor eyesight?
Weak chest.
No, my dad's a German.
Quick, he'll kill us.
But you've no need to worry about him. He's safely locked up in York.
Someone should put you up against the wall and shoot you.
Be better to save the bullet for a real German.
Come on.
He doesn't look like a German.
Oh, look, why don't you take these? Give them to someone the army will take.
He's got lovely blue eyes.
Honestly.
I hope he's not your boyfriend. And if he is, I hope you know he's a Hun.
Mr. Baines?
Miss Zimmerman.
I've seen your advertisement.
Yes.
You offer to escort young German ladies back to the German border?
I do. There's someone kicked you out. You want to leave?
Yes, please.
I'm your man.
Thank you, Mr. Baines.
It was Blum, but we changed it as hoo-ha broke out. Don't sound ceremony. My name's Joe.
How much does it cost?
That depends on how much you've got.
What would you do with Deutschmarks?
I wasn't necessarily thinking of money.
I'm a governess. I have no jewellery.
You're a good-looking girl.
No, I'll scream!
Who'd believe you? I'll tell them you're a prostitute.
But that's not true!
She wants to go back to Germany.
Sorry about my friends. I think they got a bit carried away.
Don't worry about me. I'm leaving. I'm ashamed of you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Where's she from?
Scum Irish.
Well, I live at the top of Skill Hill, and it's a long walk home for a girl in room.
In that case, I can only be a gentleman and offer to escort you home.
everything in order, Sergeant?
Very much in order, Mrs. Gertie. What I'm wondering is, what did you ever see in him?
He wormed his way into my affections with his German flannel. Buying me presents, taking me to shows.
I knew from the first you were a slippery piece of work.
He's gone now, and all I can say is good riddance to bad rubbish.
Still wearing his ring.
Let it lie there, probably brass.
Bought from a Jew.
All these years and I've hardly been married at all. Oh, he was cunning.
They always. Look what his cousins and brothers are doing. Babies nailed to doors in Brussels. That's for what they do to women on their own, like you.
What a shame they don't have you to protect him.
The long arm of the law.
And how comfortable it is too.
You know you can always rely on me.
To tell you the truth, I'm thinking of getting a divorce.
A divorce?
That Sherlock Holmes man has been talking about it.
Conan Doyle. He doesn't know anything about police work.
He's not the only one saying it, but it stands to reason, doesn't it? I shouldn't be an alien just because my husband's one. If I was a German woman and married a British man, I'd become a British woman.
Like Queen Mary.
She's even got the German accent.
And if you could get this divorce?
I'd have to do it all the time.
Would you think of marrying again?
Who'd have me?
Well, a man who needed his socks darned and his meals cooked. A man who liked a little cuddle.
What's he doing here?
Evening, Joe.
He's come to check my paperwork.
And everything seems to be in order.
Shouldn't be. A number of times it seems to get checked.
Can't be too careful.
Where have you been?
Out.
The only place a lad like you should be is at the front.
And how am I to do that?
They won't take him because of his name.
Have you tried recently?
I'm not going to offer my services and then be told I'm not wanted.
I think you'll find you are.
What are you trying to do? Give me a white feather?
They're setting up a special division for you lot.
What?
Well, they give you a uniform and they send you to do a job that needs to be done here.
What sort of job?
Digging latrines, burning amputations.
That's not proper soldiering.
It all needs to be done to free up a proper soldier to do his duty at the front.
I'm all for doing my bit.
An easy chance.
Would he get paid?
Be paid the same as any other soldier, which is exactly what you want to be, isn't it, Joe?
He's got a weak chest.
Seems to me as if they'll need to toughen you up.
What about Mum? I don't want to leave on her own.
Thousands of mothers all up and down the country have given their sons and paid the ultimate price.
Poor woman.
Proctor down by the canal. She's lost 2 and the third will never be the same again. Shot in the head. But you'll be alright, Joe. You won't even need a tin helmet.
Gertie! Gertie, where are you?
What's Dad doing here?
I hope you're going to arrest him.
Gertie! I'm a free man. Is something the matter?
Do you need to check his papers?
Get us a cup of tea, Gert. I haven't had a decent brew the entire time I've been in York.
I'm not doing anything for you. I wouldn't want to be arrested for helping an enemy alien.
Here are my papers.
These all seem to be in order.
They didn't know what to do with us, so they've let us go.
Who's going to feed you?
I'll work.
Thanks for letting me see your books, Mrs. Baines. Gertie. I see your paperwork's in order, as always.
Since when does a son not greet his father upon his return? I asked you a question, Joseph.
Why should I answer to you?
Because you're my son. Your hair wants cutting.
Does it?
You're like some sort of gypsy.
How dare you?
Why do you blame me? Did I make the war between the king and his cousin? Why do you think that I am in some way responsible? Joe. Gert!
Your nephews are killing my nephews.
And I could reverse that by saying your nephews are killing my
I
nephews.
knew you were on their side.
But I'm not!
I wish I could go to the front. I'd made sure I shot a German for every single one of your teeth!
Then you go with my blessing. Thought not. Your mother's always spoilt you. Perhaps if Moritz had lived.
Maurice!
My other son! That is why I cannot go back to Germany. Because my son is buried here. Whatever they do to me, I must endure. I still have my instrument. I'll go out on the street playing tunes if I have to.
Like a beggar.
If I have to.
I'd rather go back to my mother.
Between the three of us and what we get from the German government.
I'm not taking their money.
Then what will you do?
Why did you have to come home?
Where else did I have to go?
I'm going out.
Wait, you've only just come in.
Somewhere I can't see his face.
Trouble. That's all you cause. Nothing but trouble. And how am I supposed to feed another man from the pit inside there?
At least you get something.
German money.
Every penny they give you is a penny less for their war effort.
I'm surprised every mouthful I get from them doesn't choke me.
Then we would tell the American embassy, thank you, but we don't want any more money from Germany.
That's typical of you. You'd have me starve. Wouldn't have taken it if you hadn't been locked up.
And now I'm free. I'll go out and play patriotic songs. And when I have enough, I'll go to the Stunders, buy sausages. Be a nice change from soup. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, with my heart right there. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, 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 while you Lucifer to light your fag. Smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile.
Vera, can't you stand still while I'm talking to you?
I have maternity packs to make up for destitute women.
You seem to care more for them than for me and your father.
If this is about me coming home,
Your father says it can't last very much longer.
he was saying that before Christmas.
Well, he's going to America for business. There are some new machines he wants to look at.
What about the U-boats?
He says their success so far has been merely a matter of luck.
Mother, is that really a good idea? Can't they send in pictures or drawings?
Well, he says he must see for himself. And he will have the British Navy to protect him.
Rule Britannia. Are you going with him?
No.
So you'll be at home on your own?
Unless you come home, of course. I don't want to be sitting on my own night by night worrying about him. He'll be home as soon as he can, of course. He has a ticket booked on the Cameronia.
Why don't you shut up the house and go and live with Aunt Louisa?
Why doesn't Aunt Louisa shut up her house and come and live with me?
Because she's nursing soldiers in it.
Which hardly makes it suitable for me to go and live there.
Why is it always the same argument, Mother?
I know things are changing. There was a girl conductor taking fares on the bus this morning.
You have to change with them.
Next you'll be suggesting I take up my skirts and wear a uniform.
Why not? It will take your mind off what's happening to Father.
I blame that German governess. She's made you heartless.
If she came to light your fires and cook your supper, would you take her back?
I might be poisoned.
Good heavens, Mother, we might be bombed.
No, not in Chesterfield.
Anywhere. All they have to do is follow the train tracks on a moonlit night. You know what happened in Hartlepool and Whitby, and ask for the Grand Hotel.
Well, your father and I will never go back to Scarborough again until the war is over.
That's what I'm saying. It could happen anywhere.
You have an answer for everything.
She does have jobs for us. She's out collecting boots we've had donated from the cobblers.
I suppose she'd be better than a complete stranger.
That is probably her now. Don't worry, we'll pick them up in a moment.
There are still some more. I'll go in.
Wait, I think I may have been unfair to you.
I must go back to the beach.
I have a proposition to put to you.
Work?
And a place to live. Obviously, you will not have the same room or conditions.
Where would I sleep? That damp little hole off the kitchen.
It's quite good enough for Janet.
Father has to go to America, and Mother wants a companion.
I suppose we can come to some arrangement about the room.
Mrs. Carboys, I would not work for you again for all the tea in China.
Well, don't say I didn't give you a chance, Vera. I'm sure I don't know how you cope with all the ingratitude.
I'm sorry. Do you think I should have done it? I thought it might have been better than your current living conditions. If I could find where my mother was, I would go back to Germany.
Still no news from the Red Cross?
Nothing.
How are we ever going to match which one's going with which?
This one has hardly been worn.
It's better they give somebody who needs them than sit in a wardrobe.
I wonder if somewhere in Germany they are saying the same thing.
Probably.
I think this one goes with that one. I've always wanted a brother.
So did I.
I think now, I'm not so sure. Our brothers might have been fighting each other.
It's a terrible thought.
So many dead men.
These are very small, but they fit you. He doesn't need them anymore. At least this way they could get some use. He didn't even have time to wear them in.
Only be for a few days, mind.
I am very grateful.
Just until the children are better.
I hope they will be better very soon.
You've been an age. What took you so long? Frida, where's the medicine? You haven't got it? Well, speak up, are you ill? What's this on your coat?
It's spit. They spat on me.
Who spat at you?
They wouldn't serve me in the chemist.
Didn't you tell them Paul and Steve you're very ill?
I begged them. Mother, I went down on my knees and begged them. But the assistant said...
Give me your coat. They wouldn't sell you medicine for 2 children when you had the money.
I tried everything.
Of course you did.
It was horrible.
Give me the money, I'll go down there myself.
Please don't.
We're not like half this street. We never owe a penny. However much they owe you, Dad.
On my way home, they spat at me and they shouted...
What did they shout?
Waste.
Why?
Wholesale murder.
Lusitania torpedoed.
Murdered by savages drunk with blood.
1,300 go to a watery grave.
Kaiser's Hun killed women and children.
Death and destruction.
Those transferred on the Cameronia perish.
Germans unleash new terror.
Whole families perish. Lusitania sinks in 18 minutes.
Massacre
of the innocents!
Oh, it's been slow today.
They say he's trying to poison them. That the pies have got...
Why would they say that? They've been eating them for 20
The
years.
spittle all down a coat.
What's that to do with me?
You're a German, you're a honey, you don't care if babies...
Frida, he's your father!
You want to play now?
I hate you. She doesn't know what she's saying.
I know. My darling. I will never hurt anyone. Do you think I agree with this war? Do you think I agree with submarines attacking passenger ships?
You're one of them.
I'm naturalised. I have my papers. You can see them if you want to. I'm so sorry.
They're ignorant. They just want someone to blame.
Eliza?
Now stay up there with the children. Keep them as quiet as you can.
Ugly, insolent Germans. What do you say we put them out of business?
Yeah.
British jobs for British workers. Speak up so they can hear you.
British jobs for British workers.
Out! Out! Out!
I'm so sorry.
Go upstairs with the children. Now.
I want to stay here and help you.
On the count of 3.
Oh, stay away from the windows.
Do you recognise any of them?
No, there's too many. No. I see Sarah Chappell and John Lee.
They're regular customers.
Burn them! Burn them! Burn them!
You're right.
Sarah Chappell, you should be ashamed of yourself. All those times he's given you a bit of bacon when you had nothing to make a meal out of.
Rotten bacon. Never had a piece of him that weren't green.
You're a liar, that's not true.
Well, come on then. All of you. Take what you can. My other children up in bed with measles. Take that back to your families and all.
I'm not going in there if it's infectious.
Come in, come in.
Come on. He's the one you should be arresting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You worse than him and he's a hood.
People who've taken on themselves to cause trouble must expect to be punished.
We're good British citizens. What have we ever done wrong?
It's her fault.
What, me? I've never said boo to a goose.
Thank you, officer.
Just doing my job, sir.
Wait.
Marrying a foreigner. You should be ashamed.
He's a good man.
Here, they were baked this morning.
And very tasty too. They'll be appreciated back at the station.
And you forgot they're supposed to be poisoned.
Go down nice with a cup of tea. Oh.
They hate us.
Things will calm down. They will be tried and there will be justice.
Do you think so?
If not, why are we fighting?
I saw Joe in the crowd.
What?
He looked at me in the eye and picked up a stone. They don't want to be one of us.
There are riots up and down the country. Something will happen.
What?
It won't be good though, will it?
Whatever happens, you must help your mother with the little ones. I'll go and try and find some wood to help board up the windows.
I didn't mean it, Mother.
Of course you didn't. Well, people say terrible things when they're frightened.
Mummy?
It's all right. Mummy's coming. brought them to the centre, but since you were at home with your mother, I thought I should bring them here. Do you recognise them?
Yes.
There's a note in the shoes. I'm very sorry for your loss.
I didn't have a son to give, so they took a husband. If he hadn't insisted on going to America, if he hadn't been one of the passengers transferred on the Cameronia. But this does not compensate. You must excuse me.
Of course.
Do you think she thought it was her fault?
Sometimes people just reach the end of the line.
Self-murder?
Please don't see it in that light.
Mother wants to go to Queentown, just in case Father's body's washed up.
Might be a comfort to her.
To sit looking at all that water. She must have thought it would be a comfort. These should be Father's things. I wonder if I'd been stuck in Germany, if I'd have done the same.
Well, no one knows what's happening. This war's a terrible thing, but it's taught me that people have great courage. But I've never been further than Margate. Never bought a train ticket, stayed at a hotel. Someone has to take all those children back to the German border. Why shouldn't it be us?
I will come back to work in the morning.
I feel it's too soon.
She can't come back, but we might be able to save somebody else.
We'll need all the help we can get. I don't suppose you've been reading the newspapers.
There are accounts about the Lusitanians being too distressing, too designed to provoke outrage.
Certainly got their way. Boys as young as 14 have been rushing to recruit. Anyone considered an alien is to be rounded up and re-interned. They're to be sent to the Isle of Man.
They will need warm coats and soap, writing paper and cigarettes.
In the morning, Vera. In the morning.
When I came from Germany, they said, look for the crooked spire. That's to tell you to get down from the train. The schoolmaster in Darmstadt had written it on a piece of paper for me. If I'd known they were going to lock me up again, I'd have gone back with hands and mattings.
You're fighting age. They would never have let you.
Did you ever hear of the Isle of Man?
Frida looked us up on a map just before I left. Just a little teardrop in the middle of the ocean.
Not much chance of escaping them.
I won't make plans to escape. I will just sit and wait until I can return home to my family.
That's the hardest part.
Interment. Waste of time and money. Give me a gun, I'd shoot the bloody lot of you.
Here he is, Sergeant Oldfield.
Blum. Charles.
Charles?
Fritz. Frederick. I thought you had naturalisation papers.
A German will put his name to anything, and then rescind it at the first opportunity. I read that in the paper.
Do you want to make me hate this country?
I don't have to do that. You lot already do.
Oh, you still not joined up then, Joe?
No, he's a coward.
Nothing to do with the fact that you're half German.
Of course not.
That's not the way it's beginning to look.
I'd have to disagree with you there, Sergeant.
Oh, would you now?
He was in the crowd that attacked my shop.
Is this true? Is this true?
England for the English.
If lads like you want to fight the Germans, they should do so in military uniforms.
He's got a weak chest.
Hardly surprising the way he goes out at night.
The sooner you're on the Isle of Man and off my case, the better.
You're his mother. You're not going to say anything.
I never knew why you lot were able to carry on in business at the beginning.
Frederick, I did not know.
Oh, when it comes down to it, they always stick together.
What did the judge say at the end of the trial?
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
He said talk about Germans behaving badly.
Can I go now?
Didn't ask you to come with me.
We just wanted to be sure you'd gone.
If you need to see my book, Sergeant, you know my address.
We've got it! We've got it!
What?
Compensation for the attack on our shop.
What?
How much?
Enough to carry on the business.
I'm going to have to leave school and help.
For your education.
That's the only way.
If you're looking for someone reliable to step in and fill Mr. Sunder's shoes...
You good-for-nothing little scumbag!
Freedom language.
But she's right.
You'd say that about your own son?
He was only born 7 months after we were married.
You were keen enough to marry me.
Not now, Gertie.
You were always a weakling. We would have been better off on our own. You've always fallen on your feet, haven't you? Always.
Your husband's been locked up behind barbed wire and you think this is some kind of compensation? If I give you this, will you let my husband go?
You know I can't do that.
See?
Alright, everybody, it's time to go. The train's due in 5 minutes.
Thank goodness, we're not too late. We have warm coats and soap
And writing paper.
and stamps.
Our letters will be censored.
You can still write something.
Shall I write? Or shall I give my stamps to someone who needs them?
You give them to who you like.
There's some whole tea and sandwiches for the journey.
I'm afraid the slices aren't very even.
Oh, it's ever so good of you.
Yes, it is.
The Society of Friends already have people not below. They'll do their best.
Mrs. Haitian must arrange for you to have a hot meal when you get to Haitian.
I wish someone would arrange for me to have a hot meal.
If you need one, we'll certainly have one.
Oh, they're being handed over at Sheffield. Sending 200 from round about.
That's their third batch.
Perhaps Uncle Walter will be there to go with you.
This is it. Look after the shop for me, girls.
I did my best.
Let's go.
I'm walking back past the recruiting office. Might want to come with me. Guess you need someone to speak up for you, son.
What do we do now?
We do what women always do. We carry on.